Yeah, let's watch this one. This is by Eradicator or Erad Prime, and it's called "Should CAG Entice Players to Play Entice?" Incentivize. I would say incentivize, not entice, but sure. To play 318 in the PTU and how. So, one thing, I started this with talking about, it's on my second channel. You can see it about, I started it with talking about should CAG incentivize players to play in the PTU and how they can do that. And I gave a bunch of ideas on how to do that. Then I was on a Starstream stream. It was like a podcast. Loudguns was there. We were talking about that. Then Loudguns makes a video about that. Then I think Morphologist make a video, made a video about that. And now I can see that like Erad also did that. And honestly, I'm loving that people are hearing what I'm saying, even though I don't even fucking think that they know that it started from me. But the thing is, I couldn't even say that it started from me. It probably was somebody else before me that said something like that like a couple of years ago, but I don't fucking know. So the thing is, I know for a fact that CAG is informed and they have read all of the notes that I gave them, and we'll see what happens with that. But let's watch Erad's video. No, that leader just sent it to me.
Hello guys and welcome to the channel, it's Erad, and so today we are going to talk about the aftermath of the announcement that Cloud Imperial Games will be wiping the database of Star Citizen after the release of Star Citizen for 3.18.1 and Star Citizen about 3.18.2. Now, I've read on Spectrum,
you know what, I'm pretty sure that like 3.19 is also gonna give us a wipe,
and via other media as well, that some people would like Cloud Imperial Games to compensate players in any form of capacity for the time spent playing Star Citizen for pretty much nothing, so they say, and that's what I'm going to be addressing in this video. The answer, this is what I believe, of course, the answer that I don't think that we should be compensated for the time spent in the persistent universe, and the reason is because
persistent universe or the PTU.
We should know that the persistent universe is still in alpha phase, and in alpha phase we are going to have database wipes. It is unavoidable. It is part of the alpha process. There's going to be plenty of iterations. Sometimes we just have to start over, and this is something that we have to remember. Now, I know that sometimes Cloud Imperial Games does sell their game as a play.
Who wants to buy Grumpy's merch, PC the Struggler, for 4,000 USD? Well, it's not merch. It's not costing 4,000 USD. You can get it for like $20.
What are you talking about? They do say on their commercials, playable now. They don't really necessarily emphasize so much that it is still an alpha and that they are still implementing features, sometimes brand new technologies that may break the game. That's perhaps something that is on the Cloud Imperial Games end here, maybe something that they need to fix. But at the same time, I also think that when you join a project like Star Citizen, you should be informed of what you are going to be stepping into. Now, that being said, let's talk about the PTU though, because I think that
Hey, Gentus, it's unplayable. Yeah, I mean, it's Star Citizen.
One of the reasons why we are in a situation that we are
it's gonna
right
get
now
worse
with 3.18
before it gets better.
Terrible launch that it had is because perhaps there had not been enough people playing the PTU, and that's also a whole different matter here, because I think that there should be some incentives indeed to entice players from playing in the PTU, the persistent test universe, because the PTU is there to precisely test what is eventually going to be released into the live servers, and for those tests to be effective we need to have as many people as possible playing those tests, and it seems like there was not enough people playing the PTU of Alpha 3.18, which resulted in the massive crashes, the massive failures that we've seen when 3.18 was released, because of course everybody wanted to try the new patch, everybody wanted to try the new persistence, and when it came out, everybody wanted to start grinding their way into the PU.
I wouldn't say everybody, but yeah.
At the same time when 3.18 came out. And this is something where Cloud Imperium Games could have learned, perhaps, is that maybe they should have given some incentives to entice players to play in the PU, so that when they would join the...
Okay, so I'm getting confused by the PTU and PU. I'm not sure if he's saying it right. But so what he's saying, I guess, is that all people wanted to try the PU once it dropped, but no, like most people didn't want to try the PTU, and that is true. That is a true statement, and that's why 318 happened. That's why what's happening right now with 318 is happening right now. Excuse me. It's because of that. Because they didn't give any incentive to players to play in the fucking PTU. Yeah.
PU, they would finally maybe have some of the fruits of the progressions, or at least of the labor that they would have done in the PTU. And that way, for example, let's say that players spend X amount of time in the PTU, then they would be given maybe a little stipend. They would start the PTU with X amount of alpha UEC. Say, for example, the CIG would give a defined amount of alpha UEC per hour spent in the PTU. Then it would definitely encourage players to play as much as possible in the PTU, and perhaps CIG would have had more data to help, not necessarily mitigate. I don't think that the problems that we saw with the...
All right, I'm gonna just jump in with the thing that I know that CIG read. And I gave them tiers. So instead of asking us to help, why not incentivize players to play in the PTU by giving them prizes for the time spent in the PTU or the amount of issue council reports? Tiers would tiers would look something like this. LTI token, like the first place you get a LTI token. Now, people are gonna say, well, they're not gonna give up free ships. Yes, they are. Because with the LTI token, which is a links that we're going to get, or it's going to be the hover quad or whatever LTI token, like the cheapest one, you cannot melt it. But you can do, because you don't really need that thing, you can invest more money and you can buy a ship. Like CCU upgrade to a better ship. For example, if you got, let's say, hover quad, then you upgrade to the Gladius. Now, you cannot melt that Gladius at all. The only thing that you can do is upgrade it even further. So that's why I think that like giving us LTI tokens as the first prize is really gonna help us out, and it's not gonna like impact them at all. I only jump on PTU to fact check my complaints about how broken the Reclaimer elevator is still. Exactly. Like, why would you play 318.1 now, and why would you play 318, and why would you play 318.2? This whole thing was just like weird. Everything that they did with 318 is just weird to me, and I do not understand why they're doing the things that they're doing. I get the wipes, but having two PTUs open for all of us and not having players in them, and even losing players in the PU, like because of the two PTUs and because of the wipes, it's just like crazy. But yeah, let's continue. So second tier will be oh, you can't even fucking see that. The second tier will be LTI. So first tier LTI token, second tier skin for a ship in their hangar. Laugun said like a special skin. I'm fine with that. It can be like a gold black skin that like says PTU tester or whatever. And then you have like other places or other prizes that will be like 5 million Alpha USC, 1 million Alpha USC, 500k, 250k, and 100k. And then in the end, a badge that the player participated in the PTU, and every other tier gets it too. So you just get a badge basically with all the tiers. It's such a small thing for CEG, but it will be a great incentive for people to test the PTU. And people would do that. You know, some moron is looking at that and asking them, yes, but what is the financial return on us putting the hours and making this happen? What are you talking about? What are you talking about that? But yeah, let's continue with
the release of Alpha 3.18 would have been avoided. I think that it was bound to happen simply because even if you encourage people to play in the PTU, there will still be plenty of people who would not have played in the PTU and still would have joined the game. There were plenty of people who would also have bought the game for the first time with the release of Alpha 3.18, but I still think that it would have
what
made
was this when like Han Solo killed Greedo?
In the PTU, there will still be plenty of people who would not have played in the PTU and still would have joined the game. There were plenty
It's really important to see who shot first here.
of people who would also have bought the game
Solo shot first.
for the first time with the release of Alpha 3.18, but I still think that it would have made these effects.
Yeah, that leader, like, who are you talking about? Like, what moron? On what side? I'm not sure. I mean, there's not going to be a financial return, that big of a financial return to CAG. Yes, I know that for a fact that most people are going to CCU upgrade the LTI tokens that they get. But then again, in the end, we're going to get a better and like more stable performance once the game hits the PU, right? And in the end, the free flight that is happening right now is going to be more stable and more fun. And therefore, there's going to be more people joining the verse and giving us more money or giving CAG more money.
Less serious than they have been with the release of 3.18, and I also think that perhaps this could have given Clan
Reward equals player happy equals player buys address. That is not that far from truth. So I've got 1,000 something referrals, and for that I got like a bunch of LTI token ships and some okay ships that I didn't really need or want. For example, what's it called? Not a Valkyrie, the other one, the Terrapin. So to cut it short, I upgraded the Terrapin to something else, and I upgraded it to something else. And in the end, I have a Polaris, I have Misk Odyssey, and most of them I've spent like up to like $150 on them because I had those LTA tokens and I melted something that I had and I added blah blah, and in the end it only costed me $150.
APR Games staff, at least maybe the people.
The issue is I cannot melt that. I can only go up. I can only buy like a Javelin now or an Idris or whatever, which I'm not going to do, but yeah.
People who work on the backend services more time to anticipate the release of 3.18 and the effects that release would have had. And so that's also what I think they should be doing right now with 3.18.1 and 3.18.2 being in the PTU right now. They are testing, for example, dynamic events in 3.18.2. We're going to have apparently another event with Xenothread, Jumped on 2.0.
Oh, this is the best take on Xenothread or Xenothread, or I've heard them. I heard people say, but like Erad saying Xenothread is fucking amazing. I love it.
Xenothread, Jumped on 2.0. I haven't seen the Siege of Horizon, but maybe it's going to come eventually in the future, right? So these are also going to be events that will have a significant impact on persistence itself, but they need to have, in my opinion, more players who might be encouraged. And I think that because we're going to have some wipes, there are a lot of players, myself included, who are not that motivated to play anymore, and they're just waiting for 3.18.1 and then 3.18.2, especially to rolled out so that finally they can jump back into the game and play it seriously, start progressing seriously again, because right now there's just if you're just interested in game progression right now, there's just no point in playing Star Citizen apart from honing your skills, and if you're really that passionate, helping Clan Games to get extra data, but that's about it. And so these are the reasons why I think that we should have at least intensives for the PTU, give us a little bit of money per hour spent, but I don't think that we should have anything for the PU itself, because it's just part of the process of alphas.
Like
But
even alpha USC per hour spent in the PTU is a good thing because they still get data from us being there.
What are your thoughts about Star Citizen of 3.18 and all of these PTU
Exactly that little
processes?
Geno thread.
Are you demotivated right now? Are you still playing? What would make you play the PTU more? Well, let me know in the comment section down below. Don't hesitate to share your thoughts over there. Also, guys, let's talk about the giveaways. We've got some giveaways this month thanks to Toby. There's an Aquila with an eye tracker to win. You have the link in the description down below. Also, if you're a YouTube member or a Patreon member, I am giving away an RSI Scorpius and Taris. You can also win this one with our video sharing contest on Discord. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I've been Irad. I'll see you guys later. And a big shout out to Dr. Fobin, Wolfpipe Pug, Deplorable Infidel, and Zero Crusher.
Thank you for the video, Irad. It's a good video. And I'm happy that I can see that there's consensus on the thing that I'm going to say that I started.